Hello.
Hello, Acres of Diamonds audience. DJ is mind is in the gutter tonight, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I am Scott Gibbs here with co-founder of Acres of Diamonds, DJ Ligori, and we are here for Daily Diamond number 56. And we come to all of you with great humility.
Yes, we do. Nothing.
What's our humility have to do with, DJ?
Humility is some of the best medicine that anybody can ever have. It's kind of like you're saying managing the over.
Yeah.
We never want to get too high on ourselves because then we got to get smacked around a little bit, or you never want to get too low because then you got to get brought up.
Yeah.
But when this video will go out, we will be about a week into marketing our official launch of the Acres of Diamonds Mastermind Group in an effort to help establish strong foundations in our younger generation, so we're not getting pulled in different directions, and establishing who we are, what we want, and deliberate actions in order to get those goals and to achieve them. And our goal over the previous month or so was to launch and to get all these people to sign up and to create this outstanding mastermind, which is still it's still our goal, it's still what we want. But safe to say it hasn't turned out as vibrant as we initially wanted it to.
The emails aren't, or the signups aren't flooding in.
They're either not flooding in, or I'm just not seeing them.
They're getting lost in the ether, maybe.
I think they're going into like a spam thing or something.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny because I mean, you and I kind of both almost expected it, right? We're like, okay, we dragged our ass for so long. I mean, our challenge is we know the problem, right? Yep. We know the problem right now. There's different ways to talk about it, but look, there's a challenge in our young people and our adults, for that matter, with clearly establishing who they are, what they stand, who we are, what we stand for, what we stand against. The moral fiber, the moral backbone of our character is not being developed the way it used to be.
No.
And the fact that it's weak and not being developed the way it used to be, and there's so many different choices on what we could be, that we're a little bit paralyzed by developing our moral character, our moral fiber. And that paralyzation and that gap is being filled by a lot of negative media and a lot of our negative thinking about, boy, how come that guy's got it all squared away? How come that girl's so far ahead of me? How come that person's so pretty? How come that guy's so buff? How come that guy's got that car, that job, right? So we're constantly comparing ourselves. We know the answer to this. We have the answer. We have the antidote. We have the vaccine.
We do.
What don't we have?
The people who are ready to take it.
A very good marketing plan, apparently.
Hey, we're still working on it. Yeah. I would say there has been, like, for example, the first email that we sent out went out. It was on a Monday night at 8 p.m. I believe it was, and the accompanying social media posts went out as well on Facebook. And from those two posts, my grandma actually emailed me the next morning, and the grandma that you met.
Marlene. I saw her actually in the database. Yeah.
Yes, and so she emailed me this fantastic email about, she watched the whole webinar, all 39 minutes of it, like all of it. And originally we made a 24-minute webinar.
And we wanted to make it shorter and ended up 39. That one.
All right. So you can see we had so much passion in this that we actually made it longer.
For an audience that has about a 5-second attention span. Exactly. But we know what we're doing, right?
That was the number one thing I said. This is way too long. We go on Instagram, we go on TikTok, Snapchat. This generation wants things instantly. We got a 24-minute webinar. And I said, we got to make this like 3 minutes. And then I made a 39-minute webinar. So in that realm, she watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
She sent me this email back, breaking it down. I mean, like,
no way. You got to send that to me.
I will. I just actually, I was reading it, and she was like giving her insights into the things, and she was saying all this stuff, and I was like, this is awesome. Like she understands this stuff. She's like,
Yeah, by the way, so for people that don't understand, DJ's grandmother actually used to teach a lot of the Acres of Diamonds principles.
yes,
Before, she didn't call it Acres of Diamonds, but that's what she did. She did training and teaching around some of the stuff we're going to present. So we've talked to her about it, and she's got all her materials still. She said she still has all her materials in storage, and yeah,
yeah,
she's
she
fired up.
does. Yeah, she's like the queen of this stuff. And
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I could talk to her for hours about this.
We did that one day.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. But she sent me a really nice email, and so I was like, all right, she understood it. She got some value out of it. And then on the Facebook post, two of my friends, one of my friends, she basically said, "Oh my God, this is awesome! I 110% relate to this." The post that,
Oh yeah, I saw those. Yeah,
wow.
I saw those.
And then another one of my friends said, "What, are you reading my mind?" And I was like, all right, so the messaging here was accurate. Like they
Yeah.
understood what we were trying to say. And so I think, something that we might realize as we start launching programs, as we start creating products, services, one-on-ones, groups, whatever it may be, is that people will interact somehow, but they necessarily won't fully get to a sign up or a registration, whatever it may be. Because I remember when we originally launched our videos, and we were like, comment on this, tell us if we're saying things that you agree with. So tell us if you don't. And nobody commented. And we're like, is anybody even watching these? So I think, as we move along, realize that, interaction will happen, and, let
Right.
it still motivate you, let it still excite you. But, we learn as we keep moving forward. So,
So here's something that you and I haven't talked a lot about. We've talked about a little bit that I think is in play here too. So we're also, and by the way, we're sharing all this information for a couple reasons. Number one, to show everybody it's okay to have setbacks, okay to have challenges, right? It's part of the learning process. We're going to be okay. We still have the right solution. The problem hasn't gone away. It's not going to go away for many, many, many years. So we're just going to learn and keep taking consistent daily steps towards it, measurable progress over reasonable time, right? That's our guiding principle.
yeah.
What we haven't talked about is the law of familiarity. So the law of familiarity says that for people in our direct sphere of contact, right? So your friends, my friends, our relatives, my relatives, your relatives, quite honestly, they don't see us as Acres of Diamonds experts, right? They see us as little DJ, little Scott.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
who they see us as, right? They don't know, right, that we've spent the last 3 years probably together. Like, I know I've spent the last 30 years nearly every day studying this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? Since 1989. Every
Yeah.
day I've studied something.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize that you and I have spent the better part of 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
at least once a weekend for a
Yeah.
few hours
Mm-hmm.
working on this stuff, right? They don't know that.
Yeah.
Right. So we're not we're not getting a lot of attention and credit for who we've become because they know us as who we were.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. They don't see it. They don't.
We changed a little bit, and they haven't.
Yeah.
It might not. It might not have sank in yet, which is
Right.
okay.
And by the way, they're not going to pay. They're not going to pay little DJ or little Scott because they don't know us that way. Right. So, your friends may pay me and my friends may pay you,
Yep.
but my friends ain't paying me and
I
your
think
friends aren't paying you.
I think a couple of my friends even said, when we were talking about, when I was doing the one-on-one coaching and some of the one-on-one coaching that I'm doing now, they're like, how much is it? And I gave them the price, and they were like, there's not a shot in hell I'd ever fucking pay. Yeah. I was like, well, you don't understand. They're like, I don't care if this stuff's gonna change your life. It's like, you're one of my best friends. I'm not paying that. And I
Right.
was like, all right, like, I guess that's, my father, I grew up, my father was the type of guy who it's like, I want to pay my buddies. Like, I want them to do the work.
Yeah.
Stuff. Maybe
Well, I do too. Like I do too, right? If my
Yeah.
friends have a business, I'm going to use their business.
Yeah.
Right. So it's interesting. But look, I've come to expect it at this point. I've been dealing with it for a very long time in my life, actually, that, people don't recognize, my background and my expertise and my strengths, and it's okay. But for you and me, what we have to understand is our current email list right? Our current Facebook followers, our current Instagram followers are typically people in that group of people,
Yes. Yeah.
right? So it's going to be hard to, it's going to be hard to draw out a lot of customers there. So we are going to have to broaden our net, if you will.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So we're learning,
yeah, it's humbling. Yeah.
this is the beautiful saying, you either win or you learn. And right now we're flirting with the learning part.
We're learning. We're
We're
learning.
learning. This is great. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and DJ, I really enjoyed our conversation before we got on the air, right? Where we both kind of said, well, where's your head at? Where's your head at with this, right?
Yeah.
And we're both in the same place, which is either win or you learn.
Yeah.
And we're learning, and look, we're not going away.
No, we ain't going anywhere.
Right? We're not going away. We're just going to keep learning. We're going to keep figuring out how to help people, even if it's one at a time.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have a client right now that you're helping, and
Yes.
I talked to that client. That client is very happy with it. Like,
Good.
So
Mhm.
that's got to feel good.
It does. And I was talking with one of my friends a couple days ago, and she was like, what are you doing next weekend or weekend? I said, actually got a new Acres of Diamonds client that I'm working with. And she basically said, she goes, I should probably go through that one day. And I
Yeah.
just kind of was like, you should. Like, I think a lot of people should, because I think it opens your eyes up to so many different ways of thinking that you didn't necessarily think of before. And I think it really only it cleanses who you are a little bit, clears up that mind and helps you focus on what you really want. So
I use Acres of Diamonds in every single one of my meetings, like the principles that you and I will talk about in these classes, and every single one of my coaching meetings. And I'm coaching at this point. I have over 20 CEOs that I'm coaching.
Yeah.
One of them cried today on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And all we were doing is going through Acres of Diamonds type material.
Yep.
Right. And highlighting where the psychology of this person, it needed a little tweaking. Mm-hmm. Right. So that the person could fulfill his own potential.
Yep.
Right. So we were uncovering that diamond, mm-hmm. shining it up for the person, and letting the person run with it. Right.
And a lot of the times too, the individual most of the time they won't realize what it is that needs to be fixed or tweaked or brought up to the forefront, where then we ask these questions that are not typical questions you would ask somebody,
right,
to really start digging. And they end up finding these answers that maybe they didn't even want to say, but now they feel comfortable and they're ready to say it. And they end up having these realizations that they might not have been ready for, and that they're realizing is, all right, this is pretty valuable, and it defines a lot of the characteristics or a lot of the actions I've taken in the past. Like this makes sense. I mean, right. The great example I used in the webinar, the Acres of Diamonds webinar that I did, that's 39 minutes long. I talked about developing the personal culture, and I talked about libraries and weight rooms, and how a lot of the things then, after I established that personal culture, I related back to libraries and weight rooms. I was like, I did this because I needed to make progress in this area, or I didn't feel like I was making enough progress in this area. And so a lot of the times, we will relate our futuristic outcomes to, a personal culture, or who you are, why you are a certain way, or maybe, something a parent told you, or a belief that you had growing up. So when you get asked a question that almost challenges that, or it tweaks it a little bit, you then start to say, all right, is this correct, or am I feeling the right way? And you end up experiencing ideas and thoughts that you probably would have never felt before.
Right. And I think it's amazing that we don't have the awareness of the number of coaches in our lives that allow us to grow into bigger and better people, right? There's doctors, there's dentists, there's financial advisors, there's bosses at work, right? There's basketball coaches. I mean, every single teacher we've ever had was a coach of some sort, right? That made us aware of new things that would allow us to grow. So who in their right mind would, if, to your point, DJ, if you knew what was holding you back, it wouldn't be holding you back.
Exactly.
Right.
You would have fixed it. You would have solved it.
You would already fixed it.
Or
right?
looked
So that's right.
Yeah.
So this is the irony of it, right? When people say, well, why would I need a coach? I'm like, well, you don't if you don't want to grow. But,
Hmm.
but if you do want to grow and you want to grow faster, then you might want to have somebody around you that can help you realize why you're not currently growing as fast as you want.
Yep.
And it's just as simple as asking questions to create awareness within them of what's holding them back.
Hmm.
We're not going to, it's not rocket science for them. They're going to have, they have the answers. Right. And
Hmm.
this is, it's so interesting when the lights go off with people like, oh my God, that's so simple. Yeah. But it took us talking about it to make it simple. Right.
And that also connects to one of the foundational principles of Acres of Diamonds is we all have the answers.
Yeah.
They're all in here. They're all in your head. They're all everywhere. You just haven't asked yourself the questions yet to pull them out, to find
Right.
that diamond, start polishing it off, start cutting it. They're in there. You just haven't necessarily asked yourself the right things to extract them. And you might not want to ask yourself those questions because they might not be questions you want to ask yourself. So let us do it.
Well, yeah. And that's a great point. And not only that, are they not asking themselves the right questions? They're asking themselves the wrong questions, right? So what people, and we go through this in the training, what people don't understand about the brain is the brain will answer any question you ask it. So
Mhm.
if you ask it, why am I a dumbass?
It'll
The
say,
brain will find evidence of you being a dumbass. So you
yep,
can, then you start building up the evidence that, okay, you're a dumbass. Pretty soon you believe you're a dumbass.
yep.
If you ask your brain, hey, what can I learn from this? Your brain will find what you can learn from this.
Mhm.
If you ask your brain, hey, why am I good at this? The brain will find evidence of why you're good at this.
Mhm.
This is neuroscience, right?
Yep.
And people aren't being taught this. And
Mhm.
it's needed more than ever today because we're being flooded with mental McDonald's 24/7, 365. We've
Mhm.
got the antidote to all this stuff. We've got the vaccine.
Yeah.
We
100.
suck at marketing.
Which is ironic because I went to school for marketing. I won't tell anybody that. Sorry about that. But
I'm a sales and marketing guy too, though, right? I mean, but marketing in the online world where there's so much going on is different, right?
I mean, I'm using the tools and stuff that I
Yeah.
I learned in
And by
school.
the way, we're not good yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yet.
Yeah. And I think too, one thing you mentioned about the mental McDonald's aspect is the last podcast that we had with Sydney. We had that impromptu coaching session where we were kind of reworking ideas that we had if your AirPods died at the gym,
Right.
or it was bad outside.
Right.
Um, you know, I since that meeting, or since that video, have caught myself probably 4 or 5 times. Like for example, this morning I forgot crackers to bring to work for my tuna fish, and I went and I walked into work and went, ah, shit, I forgot the crackers. And I immediately, like, almost didn't even finish the sentence, went, well, at least I have multigrain chips to scoop up the tuna fish with. And like, I've done that now like 3 or 4 times. And so, people might not think that's a huge idea, but now make that negative thought even bigger. Like, oh, does my sister really love me? Or oh, at least I have a sister. I mean, like things along those lines where, we have these negative thoughts, this mental McDonald's that slips into our head because it's so easy. But now once you have this awareness of, at least I have this, or I'm so blessed to
Yeah.
have this, or gratitude, you then quickly notice it and get out of it. So your progress, all the things that you do then after that are accelerated.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I called my dad today and he answers the phone. I go, how's it going? He goes, oh, he says, you alone? I said, yeah. I'm on speakerphone. He goes, this effing phone. So he graduated from a flip phone to a smartphone, right? And he
Uh-oh.
goes, this effing phone, I take half step forward and 2 steps back. I start laughing. I go, boy, that's a champagne problem
Yeah,
there.
it really is.
And he goes, yeah, you're right. And I go, come on, tell me something that's good. Tell me something. Don't give me all this bad. Tell me something good. And he goes, I don't have anything. And he goes, yeah, I do. Oh my gosh. Yes, I do. I'm negotiating for a car for your mother. And I got this deal going on over here. I got this deal going over here. And I can't believe I got this deal. I mean, it's unbelievable. I got a lot of good things going on. Right.
100%.
And it was amazing just the shift that he made because I said, Dad, tell me the good. What do you got? Nothing. Oh, yeah, I do.
And most of the time, and you got to think too, the rapport and the instant, like, feeling of happiness that releases in somebody. I mean, hey, tell me something good about yourself. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
at a, guys, if any guys are listening and you are in a bar and you see a beautiful girl that you want to go talk to, walk up to her, say, hi, my name is this. Tell me something good about yourself. I guarantee there would be something like she'll be taken back.
Oh my God. Hey,
Hey,
like, you know what could happen, DJ?
what?
She could fall down with her legs up in the air right there. Who knows what's could happen?
No, that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm saying is,
DJ, you're terrible.
now your mind's in the gutter. There we go. But no, I think it's a it's interesting, it's curious, it's genuine too. Tell me something good about yourself. And I mean, whether it's a guy saying it to a girl or a girl saying it to a guy, that individual will tell them something good about themselves, and it will spark a good feeling, a good energy that will only snowball in a good way. So I think it's important to introduce that good into your mind.
Good wrap up right there, DJ. Our little 5 or 6 minute daily diamond is now up to 20. I think we're on a roll.
We got a little excited. Hey, we're pretty good though at making videos and wanting to cut them down, but then we typically make them longer.
Yeah, that's what we're good at.
That's what we're good at. At least we found something we're good at today.
Yeah, we're good at making things too long.
Good at making things too long. That's awesome.
All right, my man. Thank you so much. Daily Diamond number 56. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap and a half.
Have a good day. Bye.